PH is the Internet Country Code top-level domain for the Philippines. Introduction. The official domain registry of the PH domain is DOTPH Domains Inc. DOTPH holds and maintains the database of PH domain names, specifically PH.com, PH.net, PH and .org. PH. Its domain name registrars are not only individuals, businesses, and organizations in the Philippines but also those in other parts of the world. The PH domain is currently administered by Jose Manuel Joel Diceny, who is also .FA's current CEO. Diceny has been the domain administrator since John Postal assigned him the domain in 1990. The domain is sponsored by the PH Domain Foundation, a social outreach arm of DOTPH which was also founded by Diceny together with a group of IT professionals in August 1999. In 1994, the administration of the Gov. PH domain was subdelegated to the Government of the Philippines. In like manner, Edu. PH was subdelegated to the Philippine Network Foundation, Inc. Aside from being the registry, DOTPH sells domains and web-related services such as web hosting, co-location, private registration and email forwarding. DOTPH also offers a free referral service which connects small and medium-sized enterprises with a network of over 300 accredited professional Filipino web designers. It formerly offered a free blogging service through i.ph domains. History. Birth of the PH registry. In 1989, Joel Diceny founded the email company, one of the earliest internet service providers in the Philippines. At the time, most networks were connected to the internet via UUCP. Diceny's network had a UUCP connection to UUNET. This network connection, along with Diceny's credentials as a computer science and electrical engineering graduate of Caltech and 5-year experience in Macintosh, networking and AMP communications software development in Cupertino, California, became John Postal's basis for delegating the PH domain to him. The PH Country Code top-level domain was officially delegated on September 14, 1990. Since then, PH domains have been commercially available to the public. In 1994, the PHNET Wide Area Network, a project funded by DUST, completed its development and was able to connect the Philippines to the rest of the world by establishing TCP/IP connections to the U.S. using 64 kbit per second international leased lines. At this point, the PHNET Foundation wanted to take over the administration of the PH domain registry. Protracted negotiations took place, and eventually the responsibility of administrating the Edu, PH and Gov. PH domains were transferred to the PHNET Foundation and the Department of Science and Technology, respectively. At the time, domain fees ranged from PHP 450 to PHP 1350. Domains registered during this period had no expiration and therefore had no renewal rates, thus the label lifetime domains. However, a fee was charged for modifications to these domains. Lifetime domains were non-transferable, and were only valid for the lifetime of the original registrant. PH Domain Foundation and DOTPH. In August 1999, Diceny and the technical people at EMC formed the PH Domain Foundation. It sought to promote the Internet and free unlimited email services in rural areas. It also took charge of the domain selling business and the management of the PH Domain Registry. On October 1, 1999, the PH Domain Foundation launched a fully automated online system for domain registration. It also launched a flat .ph domain space, enabling people to register domains like domain name, .ph. Lifetime domain registration was halted, and all domains registered after October 1 subsequently carried expiration dates. These domain owners had to pay a fee to renew their domains. At around this period, the for-profit, business and technical side of the PH Domain Foundation became identified as DOTPH. Activities related to domains and the business were now attributed to DOTPH, such as the resolution on the dispute between Yahoo! Philippines and another Philippine company, the launching of the automated online registration system, and even the administration of the PH domain registry itself. To this day, DOTPH is the official domain registry of the Philippines. In 2000, DOTPH developed a system called the Shared Registry System, which enabled domain name registrars and ISPs to manage domains and accept registrations on their own website by connecting to the DOTPH registry backend. This is done by downloading and installing on the server a module that does the actual communication with the registry backend using an XML-based protocol. DOTPH also became one of the first Philippine websites to accept online credit card payments. Other developments. In 2001, several complaints against DOTPH were formally filed by members of PhilDAC with the Department of Trade and Industry. One complaint was formally withdrawn, and the rest were eventually dismissed with prejudice for reasons including failure to prosecute and lack of interest. After studies made by the National Economic Development Authority in 2002, the Philippine Commission on Information and Communications Technology Commissioner Verpena created an advisory board composed of representatives from the academia and various industry groups, including PhilDAC, to draft guidelines for the operations of the PHCCTLD. After two public hearings conducted through the NTC in 2004, the guidelines in the administration of the PH domain name was issued by the CICT in November 2004. The administrator has publicly expressed doubts about the viability of the guidelines, and raised questions about the manner in which the advisory board was appointed. In particular, that DOTPH was excluded from participating in drafting the guidelines and from the board's subsequent deliberations, and that the guidelines contain practically no input from DOTPH representatives despite the submission of several position papers. PhilDAC, however, has responded by pointing out that the administrator was invited to participate in the two hearings but refused to do so. The administration of the PHCCTLD has long been criticized by some members of the Philippine Domain Name Authority conveners. Members of PhilDAC have been involved in 5 separate attempts to redelegate and seize control of the PH domain, claiming as the basis the need for greater transparency, accountability, and community input in the way PH domain policy is created. Currently, Jose Manuel Diceni is the administrator of the PH domain. PhilDAC asserts Diceni uses the registry for his own personal interests. Diceni claims the PH domain is better off being policy-light rather than being policy-heavy. The PhilDAC stand is that policy oversight will not result in undue or burdensome requirements. Public hearings were held, but instead of attending, Diceni sent a position paper. The PhilDAC reply was written by Horatio T. As the CICT guidelines call from the separation of the registry from the administrator, while Diceni claims they have been separate as of 1999, with the PH Domain Foundation as the administrator and DOTPH as the registry. PhilDAC contends they are run by Diceni himself or his representatives. The PH Domain Foundation website actually states that it is the social outreach arm of the local local PH domain registry. Phil Dack says that because the administrator and registry are not separate, the redelegation clause of the guidelines has become operative. Dissony maintains that the Commission on Information and Communications Technology guidelines contain factual errors. The CICT came under fire for its involvement in the ZTE scandal, and was officially dissolved by President Benigno Aquino III on June 23, 2011.